Welcome to Master the Game Sports. This is the 2021 NFL mock draft with no trades. We're going to do just the first round. We're going to go through everybody. And the reason we're not doing anything beyond that is because once trades start happening in real life, it's just going to get crazy and, But anyways, we're going to have some fun with this. I did my whole first round, did a little bit of research, been watching a lot of other mock drafts, been talking to other friends who are fans of a lot of teams, and I tried to make as best I could educated guesses. And in some instances, because there aren't trades, I still had guys reaching a tiny bit for certain players that I think they would normally trade down and still try to get. So that's where I'm at with this. So let's get into it. So the very first pick, you guys already know who it's going to be. I know who it's going to be. Trevor Lawrence. If it's not Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be a huge, huge shocker. So here's what I got in my top 11 right now. Trevor Lawrence, obviously number one, the quarterback out of Clemson. He's just a stud. Everyone's known for about 2 years now he was going to be a number one pick. Last year, people thought, if he came out, maybe, he'd be taken number one. This year, he's still projected number one. Urban Meyer and that Jacksonville Jaguar offense is going to have their quarterback. Now, when it comes to the transition to the NFL, I actually think Trevor Lawrence can do it. But what is Urban Meyer going to do? He's a college coach taking an NFL job. Is this going to be a lot like Steve Spurrier at Washington? I don't know. Is this going to be like Chip Kelly with Philadelphia? Again, I don't think Urban Meyer is going to translate to the NFL. Maybe that's because I'm a Michigan fan. I don't know. We'll see. I really hope Trevor Lawrence does well. It'd be nice to have another star quarterback in the league. Number two, and this is not a pick I would make if I was the Jets, but they're going Zach Wilson. Now, I think Zach Wilson is fine. I don't think he's the second best quarterback in the draft. I personally think Justin Fields is, and I think Justin Fields would be better with Saleh as his coach at number two. And actually, when Urban Meyer took the Jaguars job, I actually thought Justin Fields would have been a perfect fit under Urban Meyer because they could have worked together. They already know each other. They're familiar with their capabilities. Just to me, that seemed to make the most sense. But number two, the Jets, Zach Wilson, and we'll see if he can get it done. There's not a lot of playing time that he did at BYU. I believe he had an injury at one point that held him out. But Zach Wilson, I think, can be a good player. He seems young. We'll see. Will the New York Lights get to him? I don't know. Number three, the 49ers. Everyone's been saying Mac Jones recently. I've even started seeing people say, they traded up to get Kyle Pitts. Justin Fields. I think they've known for a while that Justin Fields is the second best quarterback. I think the ceiling for Justin Fields is a lot higher than Jimmy G. And I think they're going to do this, and I think they're going to trade Jimmy G possibly to the Patriots. I honestly think the Patriots are going to get him. I also wouldn't be surprised to see the Broncos trade for Jimmy G. So we'll see what happens, but that's what I think is going to happen. Number four, Atlanta. Now, I've seen a lot of different things here. I've seen that they could go for Trey Lance. I've seen that they could go for Penei Sewell. I've seen Jamar Chase. I've seen Kyle Pitts. And recently I've seen more Kyle Pitts. I feel like when you still have a few years of Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. He's probably in that 10 to 15th best quarterback in the NFL. You know what you got with Matt Ryan. You know he can get you to the big game. You just need to get him weapons, right? So I honestly think Kyle Pitts could be the guy. Very similar to like Tony Gonzalez crossed with Calvin Johnson, something like that. That's how I could see him being used. Tight end, line him up at wide receiver a little bit. He can move all over the field. So Kyle Pitts is a huge weapon for Atlanta. Rookie year, we'll see how he does. Definitely year two, I think he's going to be a stud. Now, the Bengals. Joe Burrow has been battling with the office saying, I want Jamar Chase. At the same time, you hear the media saying Penei Sewell. The fans down there, it seems like they want Sewell. Some of them want Jamar Chase. I don't know. So I went with Jamar Chase here. And probably a little bit of a homer in me, being a Lions fan. But I honestly would love if they took Jamar Chase. And so that is my pick here because, again, I think getting a weapon for your guy makes sense. It's kind of like Peyton Manning to Rodney Harrison. You got Reggie Wayne. Like, you had a weapon for Peyton. Tom Brady always had his go-to, once he got going in New England. Like, I just think this makes sense. This is the Jerry Rice to Joe Montana / Steve Young. That's what this is to me. So Ja'Marr Chase, to me, seems like a no-brainer. He's already got chemistry with the quarterback. They already know each other. They already work well together. Ja'Marr Chase. Now, the Dolphins, I went back and forth on this. I thought they could have done a lot of stuff here. They could go defense. They can go tackle. They can go wide receiver. I haven't taken Jaylen Waddle. Some people think Jaylen Waddle is going to be the best wide receiver in this class. It's a three-headed race between the wide receivers here and Kyle Pitts. So I did have him going Jaylen Waddle. Again, Tua is familiar with the Alabama wide receivers. It was between him and Devonta for me. I just thought there's less of a hesitancy by everybody to take Waddle instead of Smith. People keep talking about Smith's size being a little small, and that may or may not be a factor with this. I don't know. He's small, but the dude does not let you square up and hit him. We've had small receivers in the league before, and as long as they don't get squarely hit, they can do well. Obviously, the trend goes, though, smaller guys do get hurt more, so I get it. So, yes, Jaylen Waddle, you get Tua, that big weapon he's going to have his whole career, makes complete sense to me. So, yeah. Now, here's my pick. As the Detroit Lions, everything falls perfectly into their laps for what I want, for what a lot of friends of mine want, a lot of people I know out there. Dan Orlovsky said, don't make a mistake and draft a skill player. Right now, you have DeAndre Swift. He is your best young prospect on offense. You have Jared Goff, who's still very young. You have Cephas, a third round pick from last. I think he was second round from last year. Again, a guy who we don't know what he can do. He hasn't been given a chance yet. He's going to probably be the third receiver down there. You signed Perriman. You signed Williams. You've got guys now. You got a new free agent running back, Jamal Williams, to split carries with Swift and Johnson. So, again, I think, and you got a stud tight end. You've got some weapons. You do need a receiver, but you also need an offensive line. Taylor Decker, he's getting a little bit up there in age. You've got a stud center Pro Bowler. Your left guard is solid. Jonah Jackson out of Ohio State from last year. That was a good pick. You're struggling on the right side. You got Crosby at right tackle. He could be all right and serviceable. To me, he's a great depth tackle. You could possibly use him inside. I'm not fully sure on that one. You've been using Tavai at right guard. You had Joseph Dahl last year. You need offensive linemen. You put Sewell at right tackle, Decker at left tackle. You got Jonah at left guard, and you got Ragnow at center. You have the makings of a really good offensive line. Not the best in the league, I don't think, but you are good. You're a good offensive line. You should be able to run it a little better with your three-headed monster at running back. Jared Goff should have a little more time to throw to inferior wide receivers. To me, this is the pick. Penei Sewell. If you go Rashawn Slater, I'm not going to hate it. I'm actually going to love that too. If you choose Slater over Sewell, I'd probably be like, But if Sewell is there, I think you got to take him. Unless you think you can trade with Denver. Let Denver move up and possibly go and get Trey Lance or Micah Parsons if they're worried that the Panthers are going to do that. Do something along those lines. So yeah, Penei Sewell is definitely my choice. My board for the Lions would have been Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater, and Micah Parsons. Those three in a row. And then Ja'Marr Chase. That's my 4 for the Lions in that order if you're not trading out of it. If you do trade out, hope you can get one of those 2 offensive linemen. Don't drop down below Denver. And I think you'll be good. Maybe switch with the Giants. Maybe. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at, though. Now, the next pick I've got is Carolina taking Rashawn Slater. So once the first big guy goes off the board, I think they're going to follow suit and take Slater. You got Darnold now. You got Christian McCaffrey. I think you protect those guys Again, same reasoning for the Lions taking a tackle. I just think that, if you can keep your guys upright, you'll be good to go. I think Rashawn Slater or Sewell could be a franchise-changing tackle. I think Sewell and Slater could both be a Joe Thomas, Tony Baselli, Orlando Pace type of left tackle in this league. So that's what I think. Number 9 with the Broncos, I really thought about going quarterback here. But I thought with Von Miller getting up there in age, to me, it would make sense to get the guy who might replace him, right? The guy who's going to lead your defense, the guy who can learn the work ethic, learn the ins and outs, just like Von Miller. And to me, Micah Parsons seemed like it. I think Micah Parsons is going to be a stud in the NFL. I think he's going to be a game changer at linebacker. And I don't say that about a lot of linebackers. I think, there are some decent ones. I really like the Tulsa linebacker down the list here. But to me, Micah Parsons is just a tier above that. So, again, Micah Parsons right here. Dallas, I have taken Patrick Surtain. I've thought for a long time they were going to go corner. They have a rough time in the last couple of years, it seems, to get past, get sacks and pass rushing going. Seems like their secondary has been struggling. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't watch a lot of Dallas games, but I know that the narrative is that they can't cover anybody. They can't get pressure on a quarterback. I know that they just had Sean Lee retire. I think Van Der Esch is still there. So I feel like you go with either an edge rusher here for them or you go corner, and I have them taking Patrick Surtain. I just think Patrick Surtain is, again, going to be the guy that in a couple years you're going to say that was a really good corner. The next pick, number 11. So this one, I have the Giants taking Kwity Paye. Now, I've watched Kwity Paye. I love Kwity Paye, right? I just don't know if he's going to be the type of defensive end worth this high of a pick. I think he's going to be a good player, and maybe he'll be worth it, but I don't think it's going to show up in the sack column. If you're looking for an edge rusher, you want guys who are putting up, double-digit sacks or damn close to it. He's probably going to get you 5-6 sacks a year. I think he's going to be good in run, stopping the run off the edge. He's good. He's got great measurables, big, strong, fast. Like, he's a good defensive end. I never saw that disruptive streak over a stretch of games that I would hope to see out of the first defensive end coming off the board in the NFL draft. But, it's the Giants. Who knows? Maybe they can mold him into what they want. I want nothing but the best from him. I hope Kwity Paye goes in there and shuts it down. Again, Michigan guy, go blue. I'll always root for my Michigan guys. I'll always try to get them in Madden and make them studs there. So, again, I'm pulling for you, man. I hope it works out in New York. And that's where I think you're going to go. Next up, we got Philadelphia taking a corner, Jaycee Horne. I feel like, stopping the pass is such a big deal. I actually prioritize that now over stopping the run in the NFL. But I personally think you do it with a defensive line. They still have some guys on the defensive line. Now you add a corner to it. Again, this could be a big deal. This could be something that makes Philadelphia relevant again. They've had a down year last year. In fact, that whole division had a down year last year. It was really crazy to see. But I think Philadelphia taking Jaycee Horne here is a good pick. And I think he'll be NFL ready, starter day one, and he'll do some stuff. Now, the Chargers. So I went back and forth. I thought about taking an offensive lineman. I thought about, a few different things. But I decided to get Herbert, a weapon in Devonta Smith. He's a shifty guy. He's quick. He gets the most separation of any of the wide receivers in this class, I feel. And I could see him being a superstar. I really could. Heisman winner last year. The Chargers seem like the perfect place for him. So, again, put him with Herbert. And I think you got, again, that duo for a long time to come. So that's where I got him. Now, Minnesota. I don't want to see them take an offensive lineman. I would love to see them do something crazy here and be like, hey, Kirk Cousins is doing all right for us, but let's just in case he doesn't get it done, let's get a quarterback to back him up for a year or two. Because let's be honest, Trey Lance isn't necessarily going to be a starter year one. A lot of people think he's going to need some polishing before he's a starter. So to me, Minnesota would be a good spot for Trey Lance. That's what I would like to see him do. But I got him taking Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech. Arguably he's up there with Slater and Sewell. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Darrisaw could be a great tackle. He's got all the measurables. So again, I would probably put Darrisaw there, and we'll see what happens. You got Cook running the ball, great running back. This could be again one of those franchise-changing moves, and really make the North the division to compete with. So again, I think that's a good one. Next up is the New England Patriots. We know they want a quarterback. We know that Cam Newton didn't really get it done throwing the ball around last year. Mac Jones, possibly? Nah, I don't think so. I think they go Trey Lance. I think Belichick is a smart guy, but I think that he has an ego. I think he feels he can take this young quarterback and turn him into the next superstar. So I have the Patriots there. They're going to ride out Cam Newton, switch over to Trey Lance. It makes sense. You got a big-bodied, quarterback who can move, who can throw, just needs some polish. So again, I think that's what they do. Cardinals. Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. Good receiver. He's not in that top tier, with Devonta Smith, Waddle, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts. But when I watched him, he was great. He was a great college wide receiver. I think it could translate to the NFL. So Rashad Bateman to Arizona. You've got Kyler Murray. You've got, good young running back. You've got J.J. Watt now. You've got good defenders. I did think about going corner. I really did. But to me, this just made the most sense. I just thought Rashad Bateman with Kyler Murray, a good running game, you now have what you need. You still got, I think, Larry Fitzgerald down there, could mentor. You've got something going on there. So, and don't sleep on Kyler Murray. The Cardinals are a good team. They really are. They could, compete out there. So yeah. Now, next up is the Las Vegas Raiders. I love Zaven Collins. I think Micah Parsons is better. But if my Lions traded down and could get Zaven Collins, I would be happy with that. If we, again, got a king's ransom. But again, this is the no trade draft, mock draft. So Zaven Collins to the Raiders. Now you've got that linebacker that's going to do some things for you. Anchor that defense and try to get that defense going in the direction they need to go. So again, Zaven Collins there, not a bad pick in my mind. And, you got a leader now on defense for the future. Next up, to the Dolphins, they get their edge rusher, Jaylen Phillips. To me, him and his former teammate, Rousseau, they're either one of them could go at this point. I could see either one being the Dolphins pick here. Phillips, to me, just a little bit better, and so that's where I got him. I would say a year ago, I thought Rousseau was actually going to be the first defensive end off the board this year in the draft. This year, things just didn't pan out that way. So I think I got him down here as like the fifth one maybe. So yeah, anyways, that's what I got. Jaylen Phillips here. The Redskins, Washington football team. So they got that quarterback from last year who showed up out of like the unemployment line and played well down the stretch. Last, 2 games, played really well. So I have them taking a tackle because I actually think that guy could be like a Kurt Warner, comes out of a grocery store and he's your starting quarterback. I could see that. I know a lot of people think they would take, if Mac Jones was there, they think that the Washington football team would take him here. I don't think that, I think Mac Jones, he looked really good in college, but he had a stud offensive line, a good running game, 2 first-round elite wide receivers. Like, it's Alabama. They're stacked. They're an NFL team playing college football. So I feel like Mac Jones looks good. And all those guys look good, but they're all playing with superstars. So to me, I just think Mac Jones shouldn't be up there. Just like Tua last year. I didn't think Tua should have been a top 5, top 10 pick in my mind. I was so glad when the Lions didn't take him. Obviously the Dolphins got him. He looked good last year. So I have Washington here going with a tackle, Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. I just think that, you keep them standing. It's the same narrative I say on all these teams taking tackles. So, yeah. The Chicago Bears. So, Andy Dalton was their free agent pickup. They told him he was going to be a starter. I could see the Bears taking a quarterback. Get a backup for Andy Dalton. He'll back up for a year or two and then get a chance to play, unless they play poorly under Dalton. I think the Bears are a great team that just doesn't have a quarterback. And I think Dalton can be good enough. That's the thing. You've got a great defense. You've got great wide receiver. You can do something in Chicago. And I think they were a playoff team last year. You add Caleb Farley, the corner from Virginia Tech, arguably the best corner coming out. And I could see that defense wreaking havoc, messing Aaron Rodgers up, possibly winning the division, going on to make a run. Just a quarterback away. Who knows what happens a year from now in free agency or in the draft or whatever. If Andy Dalton does work out, Andy Dalton was good in Cincinnati. He could be good for the Bears, So again, I think, adding another weapon on defense, I don't want to play you, and we have to play you twice. So, yeah. The Colts, I haven't taken Tevin Jenkins to protect Carson Wentz, offensive tackle from Oklahoma State. The Tennessee Titans already have Tannehill, good quarterback. Not great, but a good quarterback. You've got Henry at running back, who's a stud, pretty much unstoppable. Now you add a receiver who can get the ball downfield, possibly helps Henry out a little more, helps Tannehill out some more. So you give yourselves a weapon in Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida. Good pick there, I think. The Jets, with their second pick in the first round, do it through the trenches in my mind. They go defensive end, Azeez, I can't say this, Ojuari out of Georgia. I like this guy. Personally, if he's there in the second round, I would love if the Lions got him. I think that would be a good pick in the second round. But yeah, so that's who I have the Jets taking. And yeah, the Steelers. So Pittsburgh Steelers have always had a good offensive line as far back as I can remember. They've always had a good defense. They've got great players on defense. You've got 3 stud linebackers. You've got a great safety. You've got a good defensive line. Add another interior offensive lineman, and again, you keep that thing going. So I have him taking the best center in the draft in Landon Dickerson out of Alabama. Again, I just think that's going to be a great pick. I think you got at least another year under Ben. Maybe next year you look quarterback. And once you've done that, you've got, again, you might take a tackle in the second round next year. That's what I think the Steelers are going to do, and I think that would be the right move. Now, the Jaguars, again, you've got your quarterback. What did I say earlier? You go tackle or you go receiver. Like, that just, to me, always makes sense. I have him going Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. I think this kid can be a weapon. I think he can get a lot of stuff done for you. I think he can fit Urban Meyer's system. Again, I don't know exactly what Urban Meyer is going to do, but if it's anything like in college, he always had athletic wide receivers, and I think Elijah Moore is going to be that guy here. The Cleveland Browns. So Cleveland's starting to be good. They've got a running game. They've got a linebacker. They've got all sorts of stuff. They got Baker Mayfield playing well. I like Baker Mayfield. I know last year a lot of people didn't like Baker Mayfield. They just don't think he's working out up to his potential coming out of college. I think Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. And yeah, so anyways, with that, I see them going defense, linebacker here. Jeremiah Owusu, I can't even say it. Koromoa, the linebacker from Notre Dame. Again, I think this kid could be really good there. And, never hurts to have a good defense. So there you go. I think their offense is already pretty solid. The Baltimore Ravens. So, again, Baltimore is a team that I've always liked how they've done things. They've got a quarterback. I don't think they look to go anywhere there. I think they like big defensive ends. And I think Jason Awe is the kind of defensive end that they like out there. So I think they're going with that. And yeah. With that, we jump over to the New Orleans Saints. I just think adding a corner to this team is going to go a long way. Greg Newsome II, got to take him out of Northwestern. Good corner. Played for a team that's not that good, but he did really well against some of the star receivers on other teams. So Greg Newsome here to the Saints. They're going to run with Jameis Winston. They're going to see how that goes. Taysom Hill down there. They still got, Michael Thomas. They're a good team. I think the Saints need to work on defense. That's been the problem with them for a few years now. So again, there we go. Green Bay adding a shifty weapon. This guy, if used correctly, I think could be scary. We've had a lot of guys that I think play this way in the North for a long time. The Vikings had that receiver they used to put at running back a while back, who was really not a running back, but he was so quick and shifty. I can't remember his name right now, but this reminds me of that. This is a guy that you maybe run a jet sweep for him, every other week. This could be like the Devin Hester style guy. Obviously, Devin Hester didn't work out at wide receiver. Return game was great. This guy seems like he might have some of those moves. So Amari Rodgers out of Clemson, I think, is going to be the guy. He's a slot wide receiver, good in slants, good on quick outs, screen passes. Get this guy the ball in open field, and he can do something with it. So again, Amari Rodgers to Green Bay. It just, to me, again, this is a good pick. You already got a star receiver over there in Javonte Adams. Now you add someone who's going to complement him well. Again, this, to me, if you're the offensive coordinator, you're going to salivate over having this weapon. So I like that for Green Bay. Buffalo, Gregory Rousseau, defensive end from Miami. I don't know why I kept spelling Miami wrong. I did it twice on there. I probably copied and pasted it. But Greg Rousseau is going to be a good NFL player. Buffalo Bills, I think this is going to be great. This is going to be up there with Mario Williams, Bruce Smith. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he's going to be that great, but he's going to be a good defensive end for a long time for you guys. And I look forward to seeing him play. Again, this is a guy I really wanted for Detroit in the second round. A year ago, if you would have said, hey, what about Gregory Rousseau in the first round next year? I'd have been like, yup, let's do it. So, again, I'm really high on this guy. And, yeah. And not all these guys through here I've been really, high on. But definitely him. I actually, even as of 2 weeks ago, thought he could go as high as like 12, 13 in that range. 12 through 15. Even thought the Bears could take him. Next pick, Baltimore. Again, they've already drafted that edge rusher. Now, Liam Eichenberg, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Again, Baltimore builds teams through the trenches. They're a lot like the Pittsburgh Steelers. To me, they have certain things they do. And I feel like this makes a ton of sense for the Ravens. Just traded the tackle away. You need to replace him. Eichenberg seems perfect. I could even see them taking Eichenberg where they took the defensive endman to go. Awe from Penn State. I could totally see them taking this tackle there. But either way, they get their guy right here. Now, the biggest surprise, I think, of my mock draft here is right here at number 32. Tampa Bay is stacked. They've been bringing in a ton of guys. As guys get cut from teams, they're going to bring in former superstars that are going to fill a role, that's lesser than what they had to do in their previous teams. And so I think they go and they say, look, Tom Brady could play another 4 or 5 years. But what if he doesn't? What if he starts declining? What if you get that predecessor, you get Mac Jones? This is more of a what if thing that I think would be kind of cool to see Mac Jones sit behind Tom Brady for a while. Maybe it becomes trade capital later on. You trade it for some draft picks. Maybe you literally groom him to replace Tom Brady, learn whatever he can, absorb it like a sponge. This would be an awesome pick for the Buccaneers, in my opinion, and really make them a force. So that's my first round mock draft. It's Mac Jones at 32 to Alabama, quarterback, or from Alabama, the quarterback who's set a bunch of records and all that good stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I way off? Is your team in here? Did I draft the wrong guy? You just think that guy isn't even in the running? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. This is my first year doing a full-on mock draft. I'm going to do this every year. We will be doing a draft party on my Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/masterthegamerpg. We'll be streaming starting at about 7 o'clock Thursday night, going until the first night of the draft is over. I will be probably playing either Madden or MLB The Show, whatever I feel like, but we'll be talking about the draft as it goes on. I'll have it playing in the background and be following very closely to see if the Lions go and hit the home run. I hope they do. I don't know. Again, let me know what you guys think. Comments below. Give me a like. If this is your first time here, smash that subscribe button. We stream 5 days a week, sometimes more, over on our twitch.tv channel at Master the Game RPG, usually sports video games, and all that good stuff. So again, subscribe, go over there, give us a follow, and we'll see you guys next time. This is Master the Game. I am Juice. Game on.